up day 2 of Anabolix. So day 2, I was not totally looking forward to, only because I was so sore from day 1, and I actually did take a rest day in between those 2 days because I was very sore after day 1. Day 2 was burst training. It was a 10-minute AMRAP, so as many rounds as possible in those 10 minutes, however many breaks you have to take. 3 moves and 10 reps each. They were, you're pretty basic, you've seen them before. The one that I modified, multiple reasons. By the time you're that exhausted after the first 2 moves, don't want to injure myself, and in the best of circumstances, dive bomber push-ups are quite a challenging form of the push-up. So I did a little of my research and found a modification to that. So rather than pike position, down, up, down, and back, I found where you start in, if you're familiar with yoga, child's pose, which is on your knees, and a very similar motion but you stay on your knees, elbows under the fence, and then back down, elbows to child's pose. So those of you that might really struggle with push-ups, especially in like an AMRAP form where you're already pretty tired and taxed for the speed and the other moves, this was a great option for myself, modifying it. So 5 days, here's what the schedule looks like. I'm very new to the program, so just from what I've looked at and seen. 5 days of workouts, 2 days of rest. Those days are split in the schedule. The first workout was a heavy lifting workout. On paper, it's beautiful. 4 moves, you're like, okay, this, there's times where you look at some of his workouts and the way that it's explained and written on paper seems overwhelming. This seemed very doable, 4 moves, but there's a lot heavy weight. So you are actually doing 90% of your 1 rep max he refers to these as core 4 moves. So there's 4 moves, 2 were seen in the first workout, 2 will be seen in the last heavy lifting workout, and those 4 will repeat the whole month. Deadlifts and weighted dips. The other is weighted pull-ups and a clean. I believe I have not hit those 2 yet, but I'm pretty sure on those. And those core 4 moves are utilized, or you utilize the called triple X set. So I was confused at first, and what that is here you are in your 90% of your 1 rep max. You set a timer for 30 seconds, or I'm sorry, don't set a timer, run the clock. Soon as you start, that clock starts. You do your 3 reps, you're done. The remainder of those 30 seconds, you rest. As soon as those 30 seconds are up, you go back and you do it again and again and again until you wear yourself down till you can't do any reps. Originally, I thought, that's it, you're done. That's the set, move to the next exercise. I was wrong. You do that format 3 times. So needless to say, I was really feeling it. Dips, I'm always a little concerned because obviously he's utilizing dips in these workouts for chest. So you have to make sure that you lean forward a little bit. So I definitely feeling it in my chest. Sometimes if you're not careful, I can start to feel it in my shoulders if your form gets kind of lax and you don't want to work your triceps in this instance. So you got to make sure, like I said, you lean forward. Straight up and down will work more triceps. And then there's 2 more moves, and within those 2 moves, you utilize touch-up sets, so as heavy as you can go for like 1 or 2, and then you finish up with lower weight, like your 12 rep max. I'm pouring sweat. Okay. And I do want to say, I'm trying to think This format is not exactly what I've seen in another program, but very similar. And the touch-up set, I have seen touch-up sets to working sets. I'll have to double check which program that was, but I do recall that being used in one of his programs. The X set, though, this was new to me. And it seems like if you aren't very careful, you could be setting yourself up for injury. So be very mindful of form, be very mindful of the weights that you utilize. So that makes day 1, which I said, I believe he refers to as core 4. Then we had the burst training today. Tomorrow is a completely dedicated arm workout. Rest. You're going to have, like I said, another core 4 workout that'll utilize the X sets with 2 different exercises and 2 more exercises to finish out that workout. And I want to say another burst training, but don't quote me on that till I get there and get familiarized with it. Just finished up the first week of Anabolix, and today was the second burst training workout of the week. It went super quick, which was really nice. And it was, again, I'll go into this further as I watch the video, kind of want to grasp the concept a little more. The idea is to do more anaerobic stuff that, like he says, jumping jacks, like depending on your fitness level, but if you're in a decent amount of shape, you could do jumping jacks for, for quite a while. So the idea is the exercises that he's utilized in these 2 burst training workouts are exercises that tax you quickly, that you could not do for an extended period of time. And today's was pretty fun. It was a barbell, basically not a complex, but you got 4 moves, and you cannot, and with 60 reps in there, you cannot put that barbell down until you complete all 60 reps. So you move from one to the next, and it got the heart rate up. That is definitely for sure. And at one point you have to switch from a row to a curl. And again, technically you cannot put that barbell down, so you kind of gotta do a quick flip catch kind of deal. So the 3 times I had to do that, I was just waiting for that barbell to crash on the ground, but it didn't. I caught it. So I'm thoroughly enjoying this so far. So the burst training is really quick, and on a day like today when I've got a lot coming at me, it's really nice. If you still felt like, hey, I got quite a bit left in the tank, I'd like to do something else, this opens up that opportunity, if you're like me, to get core work in. Let's see, I obviously, in like every other program I've done, I don't finish up the weeks within those 7 days because I have incorporated my own endurance work, cardio work, yoga, swimming, biking. So the weeks always go beyond those 7 days of the program. And the other thing, the lifting workouts, which for those of you that like to get like specifically just an arm workout, of the 3 weightlifting workouts, one of those is totally arm, dedicated arm day. The other 2, as I said before, are those core 4 with those X sets. That second set of core 4 lifting, that I was down here for a good hour, 15 minutes or so. Because once you get to that single rep, to failure, the time keeps, that could go on for quite a while depending on what weight you've chosen and what level you're at. So be mindful of that. 'Cause other than that, I'm really, really enjoying it. The only other thing that has crossed my mind thus far in the program is he comments or mentions this as a follow-up to AX1 and AX2. I can't necessarily say that I would agree for safety reasons, being that day 1, you are doing 90% of your 1 rep max on your deadlift. And and then you're doing clean and press, 90% of your 1 rep max on a clean and press. I do recall when I did AX1, not AX2, AX1, I never touched a barbell. I'm sorry. I don't think I ever touched a barbell. I stuck with dumbbells. And I think that with that, and not like heavy weights in those programs, it would be questionable to move on to this. I followed up AX1 with Total Beast, and I loved it because I was ready to move on to that heavy lifting with the barbell, squats, deadlifts, and that program setup was perfect for somebody who's just getting into that, because you are going to get so much practice on those lifts within that program, especially being that the majority of the time, I believe you're at your 12 rep max. So you're not topping out at your heaviest weights and trying to push it with time on top of it. You're in a time crunch. So just be kind of mindful of that if this is a program that you're considering, but you're pretty new to the barbell and heavy lifting. So finished up today, kind of hoping maybe later today to maybe hit up some core. Like I said, I've got people showing up, lots going on, so getting this done was great. That wraps up week 1 of Anabolix. As I said, I am enjoying it. Its format reminds me of AX1 in regards to your 3 days of workouts, 2 days of burst training. But again, it's only week 1, so we'll see how the rest of this 28-day, 1-month program unfolds.